All right, welcome back to the PSB Spring Showdown. Marcus Burnett joined by JL Hemingway. This Prospects Nation TV matchup is going to feature the bracket championship for the KeilMoorePSB bracket. We've got the Blazers Exposure Red taking on FBC Motton, also known as FBC Mo. We see more of them here on Championship Sunday. Hemi, your thoughts on this matchup?
Marcus, always great to be on the mic for Championship Sunday. This is going to be a good matchup. Lots of young talent out here. Of course, FBC Motton features a lot of 2017 prospects. The Blazers, a little bit more seasoned, but they do have one big 2017 prospect, number 44, Mariah Copeland. So looking forward to this matchup here today.
It's already a 2-0 advantage after that bucket by Jasmine McIntosh. For the Blazers, they get it inside to Copeland Lloyd with a nice pass. Unfortunately, Copeland can't finish, but they'll get another opportunity with the Blazers. And they cash in on it as Nyla Perry splashes that three-pointer to make it a 5-0 advantage early on.
I tell you what, Marcus, after watching that semifinal game with the Blazers yesterday, really impressed with their guard play of Nyla Perry, Jalen Snipes. Those kids really made the difference. Of course, Copeland was big in the lane, but it wasn't all Copeland. Those guards did a good job penetrating, getting to the rim, converting foul shots. Big reason why they're playing right now.
They get the ball in the hands of Jalen Snipes. This Snipes versus Tasha Cummings matchup should be a fun one to watch here. A lot of quickness there. You see another score. 7-0 advantage here for Blazers Exposure.
And right on cue, you see Snipes facilitate the play on the perimeter, but it was Copeland inside that was able to clean it up. Her presence on the offensive glass is going to be key for Coach Marshall.
Cassie Cush-Kittiwah has that shot blocked by Copeland. That'll be a matchup you definitely want to watch as well.
And you're right, Marcus. Talk about two freshman post players, Copeland and Cush-Kittiwah. This will be a good measuring stick for both of them to see where they're at. And right on cue here, jumping out early, Kayla Lloyd, number 5 there in red, all over it with the deep three-point bucket.
We know the difference that it makes for this Blazers Exposure team when Lloyd is clicking on all cylinders. Saw her get a little bit more aggressive towards the end of the game there in the semis. She's already off to a good start here with that triple, making it a 10-0 advantage. Strong rebound inside by Coombs of FBC. Bianca Jackson's attempt inside is no good, but FBC retains possession. Cummings has it.
Coach Marshall going a little zone defense here to start the game. And it seems to have FBC Motton a little bit, out of sync. Yeah. They played a good exhibition game earlier this morning with Central Florida Elite. And a good finish there with the left hand by Copeland. But this zone defense really has FBC, a little bit out of sync. They're going to have to kind of find their way. Yeah. Coach Marshall's doing a good job, got those guards, pressure in the arc, but at the same time taking away the driving lanes, which is really what FBC loves to do. They love to get into the lane, dish, and get that penetration in the offense in that way.
Coach Mo bringing in a full 5-for-5 substitution, replacing his 5 starters with players number 5, Brooke Moore out of Henry Middle School, Tiamia Butler out of Southwest Atlanta Christian. Nice defense again, second block of the game by Copeland. Also into the game, number 24, Talia Gillespie, as well as number 2, Tatiana Wyatt for FBC. And last but not least, cannot forget the 6'5", Dominique Banks, also representing Saka.
Sometimes when you go 5-for-5, there might be a little bit of a drop-off. But in this case with Coach Mo's group, second 5 sometimes could be just as effective, if not more effective in spots. they can literally go 5 for 5 and not lose anything at any particular position.
Perry with her second three-pointer of the game. The way she was bagging up before it splashed through, it looks like she knew it was good.
You gotta love to see the young kid come out and have some fun here. That she's got that jumper falling early.
I think for this second unit, both Butler and Gillespie will be key components. As Butler is often the spark plug for this FBC team off the bench, not just from an offensive standpoint, which we just saw there, but also with their defense and just moxie on the court.
No doubt, and I got to tell you, I'm a bit surprised to see, the Blazers come out gunning so much. 15-0. I would have expected and a little heat check right there.
Right.
But give the Blazers a lot of credit. They're coming out playing hard, and a lot of this is starting on the defensive end, really cutting off those driving lanes that really key the FBC squad.
15-3 ball game. Butler inside to Banks. Banks tries to save it. Unfortunately, she does so right to Copeland. Here comes Jalen Snipes the other way. Snipes to Lloyd, who's able to step into that one. This Blazers team is rolling. Scoreboard says 17-3. You may not always be able to tell if they're winning or losing by Coach Marshall's body language, but they're playing well here today.
There's something special going on with this Blazer team this weekend. Coach Marshall, I had a chance to speak to him after that big win that they had over EOTO yesterday evening, and boy, he was fired up. A guy that has been, in this business of coaching kids for so long. You would think, well, another win, ho-hum, it's just another day, another championship game. No, it was almost as if it was his first win, his first opportunity, and he just loves these kids. He loves being around it. And the kids really feed off upon that energy and that enthusiasm in a lot of ways.
It's a pleasure to watch him coach. Always on a mission. Love the way his players respond to his coaching. You see a lot of times where, players don't want to hear certain things, and you can see that on the court. His players are always very receptive, and he's always teaching throughout the game. We see Banks maybe get away with some steps there, but she gets the deuce to go. 17-5 ball game. Nice defense by Gillespie. To Butler. Butler is FBC trying to get things going now. They've cut the deficit to 10 points.
Well, much like I said, the Blazers started this game keying everything with defense. FBC has turned things around with their own defense. Gillespie doing what she does, ball hawk in the open court. Taking steals down and, being able to finish on the break.
Based off the short body of work here at the PSB Spring Showdown, you knew Butler and Gillespie had the potential to be a nice 1-2 punch off of the bench because of what they do on both sides of the floor, really being able to get after it. And they've really helped kind of shoot some life into this FBC team on both ends as they now only trail by 10.
You're right, Marcus, and Butler is that spark plug in many ways. She's converted to being a point guard, at least a second string point guard here for this FBC team, and she's filling that role well. Gillespie is every bit of a spark plug in her own right, just always tracking the ball. It's going to be fun to watch these kids play for the next 3 or 4 years.
Gillespie out of Norcross High School here in the Atlanta area. Inside to Copeland. She's deep, misses her first attempt. Trying to go after the rebound, is going to go off of her leg and back over to FBC. FBC Mo trying to get a little bit of Mo on their side right now. 9 minutes, 35 seconds and counting left to play here in the first half. Butler has it up top. Over to Gillespie. Banks wants it inside. That's stripped away. I believe that was McIntosh that reached in, knocked that ball away. Perry's pass intended for McIntosh. It'll go out of bounds back over to FBC.
Well, you take a 6'5" post player out of the game and, well, you just substitute another 6'3" post player in. No big deal.
Yeah, right, nothing like a wealth of resources inside. Banks going to have a seat back into the game. Cassie Kushkutawa. Lloyd gets it to Snipes. Snipes with the floater. Won't go. Rebound by Wyatt.
Good hustle right there by McIntosh.
Great job staying in bounds.
Yeah, that's a big hustle play to track that down and then to be able to gather it.
Tough shot right there by Copeland. We've seen her knock down the jumper, but it's usually in a much better position as opposed to that one right there.
That was a little rushed. Forced it a little bit right there. That'll be one that Coach Marshall will talk about, having a little bit of patience. But, love seeing McIntosh there. She almost came up with the offensive rebound, but, was out of bounds, obviously. McIntosh making her presence known. She's going to get a quick breather, I think, here, going to go to the bench. Little plays like that. You don't have to be, the leading scorer or, the leading rebounder to make an impact in the game. And you need somebody on every team to do those things. You need somebody to grab loose balls, to track rebounds, if you're going to expect to win games.
McIntosh has a seat, so does Copeland. Into the game for Blazers exposure, number 33, Zamoria Clark, as well as number 1, Trinity Coleman. Perry's already got 2 3-pointers. She decides to pass on that one and take it to the rack. Ball's knocked around, and when all the dust settles, it's going to be FBC ball with 8 minutes, 6 seconds left to play here in the first half.
You can see the length of Kush Kudawa in the interior there, getting the deflection, getting the block shot, and ultimately leading to a stop.
She rebounds on the glass offensively after that Gillespie miss. Wyatt ends up picking up the pieces and getting the bucket. So it's now a single-digit deficit here as FBC has gotten a little more settled and have kind of turned the pressure up a little bit defensively on their own. And it really looks like Perry's having some fun out there, man.
Nyla Perry has gotten this thing going, her 3rd 3-pointer of the first half.
Nice job of forcing that jump ball by Trinity Coleman. But it will stay with FBC. Checking into the game for FBC Mo, number 3, Michaela Coombs, as well as number 34, Corey McDaniels. Enjoy watching Coombs play here at the PSB Spring Showdown as well. She's done a great job being able to rebound, push the ball up the floor, and either make plays for others or score with her finishes inside. As we see Talia Gillespie giving the official a little bit of an assist.
Yeah, the official said, no, I got it.
Yeah.
I've got eyes. I've got the whistle. Let me blow it.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me, but yeah, we're good. 20-9 ball game, 11-point advantage for Blazers exposure. Here's Cummings. Cummings going to get caught for the travel.
Now this is where the zone defense can really cause this FBC team a lot of trouble. Tasha Cummings, very good with the dribble, very good at using the ball screen. But when you play a zone defense, you use that ball screen, you try to turn the corner right there, and all of a sudden you've got 2, even 3 defenders walling off the lane. FBC is going to have to look for other ways to create their offense.
Bianca Jackson checks back into the game. Snipes with the tough fall-away jumper along the baseline, pushing the lead to 22-9. 6:35 left to play here in the first.
I really like the 1-2 combo of Snipes and Perry in the backcourt. I wrote about them in a day 2 recap of the Spring Showdown, which will be posted on ProspectsNation.com later this week. But those 2 kids, a lot of attention obviously will go towards Copeland and, even Lloyd with the length. But those 2 kids in the backcourt are really powered this Blazers team.
Talked about Michaela Combs and her ability to get inside and score. Showing off the jump shot there. She knocks that 3 down and make it a 22-12 ball game. Block shot by Cassie Kush-Kitawa. Now it's in the hands of Cummings. FBC running a little bit. Jackson has to pull it back out. Nice job right there by Cummings, kind of serving as the cutoff man. She wanted that pass to go directly to Kush Kitawa. Found the ball in her hands, got it up top to her center, who knocks down the first free throw.
Well, we talked about FBC gonna have to look for other sources for their offense. And you see Coombs, it was Coombs or Gillespie that hit that last three.
Coombs.
Yeah, Coombs hits that three. They're gonna need, a couple of outside jumpers to be able to loosen up this zone defense to create some space for Kush Kitawa and their other post players.
Gonna have a foul against FBC there on the rebound. 9-point advantage for Blazers exposure. McIntosh, too tall with that pass, intended for Nyla Perry, back over to FBC.
Yeah, she ended up in a bad spot underneath the basket with a lot of trees around her, so not the best place to be right there.
Kush Kitawa to McDaniels. McDaniels no good on the shot, but Cassie Kush Kitawa eating the glass inside. She'll have a chance for the three-point play the hard way.
Talking about offensive presence here against this zone, you notice what's happened. The Blazers extend out on those shooters, creates a little space on the inside. Kush Kitawa is poised for a big game here today.
Checking back into the game for the Blazers exposure, number 44, Raya Copeland. Snipes like more of a sniper there on that particular play. As she gets the three to go, makes it a 15-25 ball game. Right back at you comes Cummings. You liken her to, relatively speaking, a Chris Paul of sorts for this team yesterday.
Without a doubt, these point guards going at one another. And these centers are going at one another. Copeland versus Kush Kitawa.
Cummings with it again. Kush Kitawa wants the ball inside. 4 minutes, 38 seconds and counting. First shot won't go. Kush Kitawa continues to rebound well. Cummings saves it from going out of bounds. Elbow jumper, counting.
Remember what we saw last night, Marcus. When Cummings went out of the game, the Hoop Stars made a big run. Yeah. Now look what you see here. Cummings back into the game, really facilitating the offense. Now scoring a little bit, and this game's a 6-point game.
Copeland brings that ball low, almost doesn't make it out of there with it, but they find it out to Snipes, and Snipes has got her second three-pointer of the game.
Wow. First it was Perry, now it's Snipes. These two are having big-time games here, Marcus.
And they have a 9-point advantage as a result. Cummings going to get fouled on the play there by Copeland. Copeland grabs her jersey, says, "My bad, coach."
Yeah, Coach Marshall scowling a little bit. He doesn't like to see his big post player leave her feet like that. That's an easy way to end up with foul trouble and in a game which in all likelihood it's going to go right down to the wire. You need every foul that you can possibly get.
I like the substitution by Coach Mo. Copeland has a seat. He's going to have Cassie Kush Kitawa have a seat as well. Get her some minutes. We definitely haven't seen the last of that battle as this game continues. Back into the game for FBC, Talia Gillespie.
And Lindsay Marchese also checking into the game there, number 33 in white. Pulling some double duty. She just played in semifinal game of the FBC Black game.
Gillespie unable to finish, wanted the foul on that play.
But you can see her speed and her end-to-end speed as we've talked about, her ability to slash get downhill. It's what's going to make her, one of the more special wings in the state of Georgia, as you see the defensive ability there.
Ball's going to be tied up. Nice job of sticking her hand in there, getting the tie up by Nyla Perry, who will inbound the ball for Blazers Exposure as they have a 7-point advantage. 3:18 left to play here in the first half. Snipes inside to Clark. Clark gathers and finishes off the glass. Clark out of Wetumpka High School there in Alabama.
Must be nice to be able to come off the bench with multiple 6-foot post players, and Clark's another example of that for the Blazers.
Yeah, basketball God's very good to both coaches as far as the size that they have.
Good hustle there by Clark.
Jump ball. Ball goes back over to FBC. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left to play here in the first half. 9-point advantage for Blazers Exposure. Bringing the ball up, number 4 for FBC Mo. They go inside to Marchese.
Great seal and finish there by Lindsay. You notice how she made that defender take a step back, and by the time she caught it, she had 2 feet in the paint. That's textbook right there. Textbook seal, catch, score. Gotta love to see that out of a big player.
As you already stated, doing double duty, just finished up a game, so she's getting some great conditioning in. She's gonna sleep well tonight. Coon's gonna dial up a 3, and it's answered. 26-30 ball game. Also now into the game for Blazers Exposure Red, Jasani Geist. As FBC cranks the defense up, forces another turnover there. And they'll get the ball with a chance to make this 4-point lead, possibly 2 or even 1 here in this possession, just under the 2-minute mark. Marchese calling for it. Another strong move inside.
You gotta love the soft touch inside by the big freshman post player.
Out of Archer High School. Archer made it to the Final Four there in the here in the state of Georgia. Relatively new school here in Gwinnett County to be able to have that, that type of success here early in the game.
And going back and forth here. It was 15-0 if you don't remember. Now it's 31-28. This game is shaping up to go right down to the last minute as usual on the SUV TV.
Copeland back into the game for Blazers Exposure. Marchese is saying, I still want the ball inside, but here Gillespie going to do what she does from the outside, and she ties the game up 31-31, 1:20 left to play here in the first. Snipes has it. She's doubled,
Good
gets
pass.
it into Copeland. Copeland's foul. Looks like they're going to call it on the floor.
Probably not a bad foul right there. She had position. And the angle to score.
Oh, yeah, without the foul, that was a bucket.
Yeah.
We see Ty Freeman there along the baseline, capturing the shots like only he can.
Oh, great footwork.
She misses, but she's got an insurance policy in Zamoria Clark. Sorry, Emmy.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say a great job there by Clark to be right there on the spot. It was going to be a tough move by Copeland. That rip through, pivot, and then the left hand from, about 5 feet away, but Clark cleans it up, and she's going to get another chance here.
Finish by Clark, the assist by Jalen Snipes. And also, Kayla Lloyd, number 5, back into the game for Blazers Exposure. Gillespie, she's already got one three-pointer. Can't make her second on that play. Marchese can't get it to go either. We've got about 14 seconds to work with.
Ouch.
We have a head-on, literally a head-on collision there with Talia Gillespie and Nyla Perry.
That might have drawn a 15-yard penalty in the NFL or college football one.
I'm telling you, man, we've seen some tough kids as they butt heads there, and Perry hops up like it's nothing.
Tough shot.
It's short, and that will do it for the first half. You want to make sure you stay here on Prospects Nation TV for the second. Marcus Burnett with J.L. Hemingway will catch you back here after halftime. All right, second half is underway here. 4-point advantage for Blazers Exposure. They were off to a 15-0 start until FBC kind of changed things up. And here we have Butler trying to get the second half started off on the right note for FBC. That ball is going to be last touched by the Blazers and stay with FBC Mo. Hemi, your synopsis of the game up to this point and why we sit at 31-35 as we start the second half.
First off, the Blazer guard play has been very, very good. You know, first it was Nyla Perry hitting the threes. Then Jalen Snipes, steps in and hits a couple of jumpers herself, a couple from deep range. Copeland has been solid, not outstanding. He's gone to the bench with some foul trouble. But interestingly enough, Zamoria Clark has stepped right in, filled the gap, been very effective.
Speaking of effective, Michaela Combs with a nice drive and then the dish to Cassie Kushkudawa. And that bucket makes it 33-35. Talked about the guard play. You definitely want to watch this matchup between Kushkudawa, who gets the strong rebound there, and Copeland. Her rebound ends up leading to a bucket on the other end by Bianca Jackson, and we have a 35-35 ball game.
Talk about wing play. Coach Motton has gone nearly all wings here. Coombs, Gillespie, and Jackson. All young kids with a lot of length and a lot of talent. But Nyla Perry is picking up right where she left off in the first half.
3 3-pointers in the first half. She's got her first of the second there. Nyla Perry out of Deerfield, Windsor High School there in Albany, Georgia. Perry with the ball now. He's guarded by Gillespie and called for a foul on the screen there was Kayla Lloyd. Lloyd was off to a solid start there in the first half, was able to splash a couple jumpers. That was a big part of that 15-0 run that the Blazers opened the game up with.
Good point, Marcus, and I think she could be more than anybody else a key for the Blazers in this second half. How well she plays could determine a win or a loss for her team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Snipes ahead to Perry, a little bit, a lot of air under the pass, so Perry has to go back and get it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But no worries. She uses the spin cycle there and gets it to go off the glass, make it a 40-35 ball game. As Mr. Lloyd approves of that here in the Blazers fan side.
Man, as they would say, she's balling right now, Marcus.
Most definitely, Hemi. She's going to have some very nice SUV TV and Prospects Nation footage to be able to check out once she makes it back to Albany after the PSB Spring Showdown. We have a substitution for Blazers exposure. Back into the game, number 33, Zamoria Clark, as Jasmine McIntosh has a seat. Too strong on the second free throw is Coombs. She follows and gets that one to go. 37-40 ball game. Really enjoy watching Coombs play here this weekend. Coombs out of Wesleyan School here in the Atlanta area.
Yeah, more than anything else, I think Coombs has solidified in my mind, that she is a potential elite prospect, in her class, showing the skills that we had identified, last year. Talk about length, athleticism, slashing ability, defensive ability, different from Gillespie. Their styles of play are certainly different, but they're equally talented in their own right.
And not very far from each other. You could throw a basketball from Norcross and hit Wesleyan and vice versa right there off the Spalding Drive. You kind of got to have a good basketball team if the school is located on Spalding Drive.
Never thought about that, but you're right.
Gillespie gets the layup drill there, 39-42 ball game, 12 minutes, 25 seconds and counting. The defense by Coombs, the save off the leg of number 20, Chantel Wells. It'll stay with FBC.
Some fantastic defensive plays here being made by Motton and his crew.
Good look there for Coombs, can't knock it down. But no qualms about the shot there. Coombs nearly has another steal. Wells going to jack up a three. Goes around and stays down.
They are shooting the ball fantastically here. Marcus, I would have, they've got to be shooting well over 60% from deep range.
As Wells gets involved, Wells out of Hardaway High School there in Columbus. Back into the game, number 1, Trinity Coleman for Blazers exposure. As well as number 2, Tatiana Wyatt. And Wyatt should definitely recognize a few of the Blazers exposure players. Wyatt out of Columbus High School, which is also the school home for multiple Blazers exposure players. 44, Raya Copeland. Number 5, Kayla Lloyd. As well as 00, Jasmine McIntosh. So we're going to have a timeout. We'll take one with them. 11 minutes, 44 seconds left to play here in the second half. We'll be back shortly here on Prospects Nation TV. All right, we're done with the timeout and ready to get back to what's been a great game so far here in the KeilMoorePSB Bracket Championship. FBC Mo taking on Blazers Exposure. Blazers have a 6-point advantage. Copeland with the strong rebound inside, snatches it away. Now it's in the hands of Jalen Snipes. Can Perry get her second three-pointer of the second half? Not on that attempt. Here comes Tasha Cummings the other way. Saw the miss by Cummings, but then you also saw her ability to really be able to kind of shift it into a second gear quickly.
I love her ability, like you say, to change speeds, but to change direction. So smooth to be able to get downhill. There were two defenders around her, and suddenly she just bursts out of the crowd and nearly had an easy layup herself. In many ways, you know, as I wrote in my article for ProspectsNation.com on the FBC Motton team, I really believe that her and Tampa, you know, really make up the engine of this FBC team. If you want to put it into automobile terms, you know, they're the ones that make them go. You know, the length on the inside, you know, is the anchor. But for this Blazers team, it just seems to be a different player, you know, every 3 or 4 minutes that steps up. And right now, it's number 20, Chantal Wells, that is stepping up here at the moment.
Yeah, if you're Coach Marshall, and we're actually seeing a grin from Coach Marshall right now. So I think that kind of lets you know how well this Blazers Exposure team is playing. Like you said, Hemi, they've really been scoring by committee. And as we look on the Blazers Exposure side of the court, we'll see some of the new AOT Rebels. I guess they have a boys division or a boys team as well. We see the nice camo uniforms. I'm not sure if you call that camo. I just know it's cutting edge, Hemi.
I like the jumpers that I was seeing out there from those young prospects. Might have to introduce them to Sean Williams and On the Radar Hoops. Get those kids on the radar pretty soon.
So we're going to have a trip to the free throw line by Cassie Kushkutawa. As we mentioned on yesterday's semifinal webcast, Kushkutawa, a member of the St. Francis School basketball team. St. Francis, good things going on in the world of basketball there, both on the boys and girls side. When you look at Kushkutawa and her squad, as well as Kobe Simmons, Kaiser Gates, Malik Beasley, and Coach Cabral Huff and them have done over there on the boys side also.
Wow, isn't that true? But Mariah Copeland getting things going there, finishing inside. We got a 50-42 ball game to finish that thought. Boys, St. Francis State Championship. Girls basketball Final Four appearance. In many ways, St. Francis girls were, you know, a favorite to make it to the state championship game this year. Be a good argument to make, you know, who has the best overall program in the state of Georgia, both girls and boys. I think St. Francis is definitely at the top of that list.
Yeah. Most definitely.
You know, Buford girls and boys, both runners-up this year in Class AAA, so they would definitely be in that conversation too. So lots of basketball, lots of good basketball at that. Talented players all across the state. The Atlanta metro area is just a hotbed of talent. And I look in, you know, when you look at the programs that are here, FBC, you know, Team Elite, Georgia Hoop Stars, the amount of talent that is in this area And then you'll see just, other various teams just randomly pop up, with other good players that, from time to time. So, and you don't get programs without players, and you just can't manufacture them. So it's interesting to watch the development of all of this.
Ball's loose, going to the deck to get it. It's Bianca Jackson of FBC. Who's going to be fouled on that play. That foul going against number 25, Alondra Calhoun.
Take it off.
Well, I like what FBC has done the past couple of times against this zone, attacking the high post, looking to get the high-low look, from Wyatt to Kushkitawa. That's a good look for them. Really isolating Kushkitawa, one-on-one there with Copeland inside, and see what they do this possession.
You know what you got to ride?
Aja Cummings has it. Atop the Tampa, they swing it over to Coombs. Kushkitawa going to work on Copeland, too strong on the shot. It's going to be last touched by Chantel Wells.
Good patience right there by FBC. I like what they were doing, really being deliberate to try to work it inside.
Cummings with nice moves, but Perry sticking right with her. Put back attempt, blocked. Here's Tampa, back up top to Cummings. Coombs gonna try a three from the other corner this time. A little bit too much on that one.
No. Great defense right there by Coombs and Tampa, running down that trap. Anytime you pick up your dribble and you've turned your back to the basket, that's what FBC wants you to do.
Yeah.
And they set that trap perfectly and shot the gap. Boy, that was impressive.
Yeah, Coombs and Gillespie have been shooting those gaps like crazy here throughout this entire game. Lloyd looking inside for Copeland, way too short on that one.
Too much length right in there. Lloyd knows it. And I like to see that. Lloyd goes right over to Copeland and says, hey, my fault. I got you next time. Gives her a little handshake. I like little stuff like that. That tells me a lot about a kid's, character, their demeanor. Not every kid is like that either. Those are the type of kids that I like to coach, the ones that are going to go the extra mile, regardless if they're talented or not.
And if they're playing for Coach Marshall's program, it's a safe assumption that they usually are going to fit in that category.
You got that right.
Nyla Perry with the ball. She's being hounded right now by Cummings. Uses that screen, too strong on the three-pointer though.
Yeah, I know Perry's been hot, in this game, but that was a tough shot. Going to her left hand, coming off the ball screen, step or two behind the three-point arc. She's frustrated with herself right now. She's got to learn from that, undoubtedly, and no doubt that she will. But they've got an 8-point lead right here. They're playing some pretty good defense. These next couple of possessions are going to be key coming down the stretch.
We've got 7 minutes, 34 seconds and counting. 8-point advantage for Blazers exposure. Coleman ahead to Perry. Kushkitawa with the rebound. Here's Cummings. They've got numbers. Cummings behind the back.
Yeah. I think that was the right play. Just didn't execute it right there. The defense was in front. I don't think that she could have thrown it in front of her. Nevertheless, it was a risky play.
Tampa. You talked about Cummings and Tampa being, the engine for this FBC team. We see Tampa get a steal right there. It's back tapped and knocked out of bounds, but FBC retains possession. Nice D by Tampa. That's Brooke Moore, the middle schooler, checks back into the game for FBC.
Good night, Kate.
Tampa inside to Kushkitawa.
High school teammate to high school teammate. Good defense down there along the baseline by McIntosh and Perry.
Lloyd off on the jumper, rebounded though by Trinity Coleman. Wyatt trying her best to get out of there with the ball, but not before Blazers Exposure tie it up. As Lindsay Marchese comes back into the game for FBC, number 33. And number 11, Jalen Snipes, back into the game for Blazers Exposure. Saw some solid post moves from Marchese there in the first half. We'll see what she can do here in the second.
Yeah, she gave quality minutes, gave some points up there on the board. Let's see what happens here.
She's not shy about setting up in there and calling for it.
Good move. And right on cue, Marcus gets that rebound. Going to go to the foul line. Now, if there's been an Achilles heel of these FBC post players, it's definitely been the foul line. Marchese and Kushkutawa both have struggled to, make more than 1 out of 2 at the foul line. She makes the first. Let's see if she can convert 2 of 2. The reverse jinx right there, Marcus.
No doubt, man. And Marchese, using these games, using these opportunities to get better and work at, some of the things she needs to work at. There we see her go, knock down both at the free throw line. I'm sure she'll get plenty of practice at that during this spring-summer season. Meanwhile, Blazers Exposure with an offensive rebound. Lloyd going to get called for the travel.
Yeah, good call right there. Move to pivot foot. 6-point lead. Very critical time here in this game. I like what Coach Marshall has done. He's rotated his guards through effectively. He put Snipes down for a minute, gave her a quick breather. And then and right on cue, he got Perry a quick blow, and now bringing her right back to the table. Copeland getting a quick breather as well, so they should be full power going the last 5 minutes.
30 seconds away from the last 5 minutes, 5:30 on the dot on the clock. Jasmine McIntosh going to have a seat. Nyla Perry back into the game, as Emmy mentioned.
Oh, good move.
Marchese.
Perfect. Marchese almost had it the first time. She was working back behind. The inbounder didn't see her. She took a step back and ended up getting it as it was. Good movement without the ball. There's a lot to like about Marchese.
3-pointer on the way. It won't go down for FBC. Nyla Perry with the rebound. Has it stolen away. We're going to have a jump ball called. FBC's a little frustrated because the jump ball wasn't called until they had actually gotten the pass off and had an opportunity to score. And it also sounded like an instance of where the official was trying to blow the whistle, but it didn't come out. The sound didn't come out instantly.
Yeah. I saw him move, and then he hesitated as if he made a mistake, and I think that's what got him in trouble more than anything else. Yeah, quick conversation right there with Coach Motton, and all's well that ends well. Good pass. Oh, got to be able to finish those. I've really been impressed with Perry's game this weekend. Yesterday against EOTL, I really remember her getting to the bucket a lot and getting to the foul line. Today against FBC, she shot the ball out, well, obviously. And she's showing a little bit more of a diversified game, there she, dumps it off, to the interior player. Snipes really showing to be a steady and a heady player.
Yeah. Clark makes the first, misses the second. Last touch by the Blazers. Back over to FBC is Michaela Coons. checks back into the game. 4 minutes, 36 seconds.
Quite a gathering in here. Lots of fans starting to line the walls and the stands. Good Sunday afternoon entertainment for you.
Can't beat it. Marchese has that scoring attempt thwarted inside by Clark.
Yeah, good block right there by Clark. Going straight up and getting all ball. Whoa, Snipes. Snipes. The runner.
Nice shot right there. Was able to cross over Gillespie and finish with the giant killer inside.
There's a lot to like about Jalen Snipes, too. Her and Perry have definitely been stock risers in my mind, in my eyes.
Yes. There's Lloyd. Kicks it out. Perry. It's been a little bit of time since he's hit a three. A little too strong on that one. Good look for it. Comes Coombs the other way. FBC trailing by 7.
Good drive. And 1. Boy, Coombs has been dynamic this weekend. Great game last night. You could make the argument that she was one of the best, if not the best performer in that game, the difference maker in that win over the Georgia Hoop Stars, and then today she's just been consistent.
You got a box, ladies.
Agreed. She's had a great PSB Spring Showdown. I'm sure she'd like to cap it off with the KeilMoorePSB Bracket Championship here if possible. That three-point play helps their cause, as it's now a 49-53 ball game, 3:33 and counting left to play. Lloyd gets it out of that corner, but travels. Oh, she's going to say she's fouled.
Snipes has been real steady with the ball. You know, not the biggest kid out there, but definitely very, very sure with it.
That pass too tall for Copeland.
And I missed that one there. I think the angle that John Woods was at, he just couldn't see that Perry had wrapped that girl around the waist.
And that's one of the things I like about Coombs. You couldn't tell that happened by looking at her. No complaint to the official, nothing, just getting back on defense. That's been another thing that's been impressive for her this entire weekend.
Yeah, that mental toughness factor, that's one thing that young kids in particular struggle with, and sometimes their parents even more so, is the fact that, you know, things happen. Mistakes are made by yourself and by others. What's most important is how you react to it.
Around by Marchese to Coombs. They get it ahead to Butler.
Oh, good hustle right there by Clark.
We'll see what the Blazers can do with it. Here's Perry. He's going to have it knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Blazers. And you can tell Perry, those legs getting tired. I don't think, you know, she sat for a few minutes, but she's played the majority of this game. 2 minutes, 18 seconds left to play.
Notice who just came in the game there for FBC, Tasha Cummings. A little bit of a run. Cummings comes back in. I predict that, oh goodness, good things are going to happen. But before good things can happen for FBC, Nyla Perry finding her range once again and stretches this. That's a big shot. Stretches it back out to 7.
She says, I'm tired, but not that tired, Chief. Knocks down a three-pointer, 49-56 ball game. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left. FBC, we'll see if they have one more run in them to be able to close this one out. After this, be sure to stick with us. We'll have the J.L. Hemingway PSB Bracket Championship, which is going to feature Central Florida Elite taking on Team Pointer Elite. Hemi, give me your thoughts on that matchup.
I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Team Elite is one of the teams on the rise here in the state of Georgia, much like FBC Motton is on the rise. FBC's 2017, a lot of those kids for Coach Kurt Pointer are 2016s. CFE, well established. already has, the star power. It's going to be a good one. And I think it's going to come down to, who can make more plays, obviously.
Back to this one, which has yet to be decided. 7-point advantage for Blazers exposure. Tampa with the floater. It's no good. Strong rebound inside by Copeland. Looking for someone to get it to, and Snipes is right there. Back to Copeland.
Good sureness with the ball right there by Copeland and Snipes. I really like that. A lot of lesser players would have turned it over.
Perry's not playing.
Look at Coach Marshall on the sideline. Boy, he is fired up. I'm not sure if he was excited about the three, but he's got to be excited about the rebound and the dish right there.
Offensive foul going against Cummings.
Yeah. And a good call right there. Playing the zone defense. Defense is already established. Cummings has been, cut out of the lane for the most part of the day. Not much room there. Gets called for the offensive foul.
And you almost wonder if Cummings sat a little too long. When you look at the amount of time that's left in this game.
Well, that's a tough thing that you've got to deal with a game like this. It's not like you've got players that can't play, in their stead.
Right.
Butler is a great point guard. Sometimes you play the hot hand, but sometimes it is what it is. You just get stuck in those rotations, and there's not a right way or a wrong way.
Yeah. I'm glad I just have to commentate as opposed to having to meter out those minutes.
Sure.
Especially when you've got that much talent. So, got Jalen Snipes going to the free throw line.
Under 2 minutes, second foul equals a 1-on-1 opportunity here, and that's what we'll see. And Snipes calmly steps to the line and knocks it down.
Snipes knocked that down and looked over like, was there any doubt that I would knock him down?
Like, I got this.
Under a minute now, 11-point advantage for Blazers. Copeland blocks that one out of bounds. Let's see if that was last touch. They're going to say knocked out by Blazers.
This has been a big 2 minutes. At the 2 minute mark, it was I want to say a 5-point game. If I'm not mistaken, good jumper right there by Cummings to cut it to 9. A couple of buckets later, and guess what? You got a double-digit lead for the Blazers. Been some big plays, some big shots. Nyla Perry in particular, hitting some threes, making the hustle plays. That nice little dump off the Copeland was really the highlight.
Yeah, and I liked how with her approach, she wasn't looking to play not to lose and be tentative. She was looking to go out there and just end this thing.
You're right. You got to go for the win when you got it. Got some big names in the household here today. I see Kayla Davis down there on the baseline.
There you go.
Kayla Davis down there.
Yeah, I see Asia Durr down there on the baseline, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Also with her USA sweatpants on. Tony Watkins Jr. right behind Asia Durr.
Yeah, we've had Tony Watkins Sr. in here as well.
That's right. Central Florida Elite down there in the corner, ready to take the court. Here comes, looks like Team Elite 2018 team. Just walking in.
51-63 ball game. Here's Tampa.
There you go.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Nice defense there by Lloyd.
Well, it's been a good showing, assuming that FBC doesn't pull off some miraculous comeback here with about 20 seconds left. They definitely got on the stage. They got on the radar for sure of a lot of people. We identified them as a team, you know, a year ago that we were going to want to make sure that we had in our tournaments, you know, for years to come. And they came in and knocked off a well-established Georgia Hoop Stars team, and then get all the way to the championship. But they ran into a buzzsaw of a team that was playing with a lot of momentum and a lot of character in the Georgia Blazers.
No complaints here for the KeilMoorePSB Bracket Championship, as it'll be hoisted by the Blazers Exposure. Stay tuned next, as we'll have the 1:40 p.m. J.L. Hemingway bracket. Central Florida Elite taking on Team Pointer Elite. You're watching Prospects Nation TV. I'm Marcus Burnett. He's J.L. Hemingway. We'll catch you back here shortly.